Guys, look at this, check this out. Guys, this is graphics. This is one of my old artworks. This is graphics, guys. This was actually just back in high school. Yeah, look at this. This right here was actually a test, guys. It was a test. Look at this. Yeah, and this is what I scored. Can you see this? I scored 67. It's an old test, guys. It was back then when I was actually in high school. Yeah, this was a test. This is graphics. Now, guys, to be honest, personally, I'm not that good at this kind of artwork. This is graphics. I'm not that good at graphics. I'm actually better at drawing. I like drawing. Like I just like working with charcoal and pencils. I just like drawing. Especially I like figure study. Yeah, I prefer that. I prefer figure study to this graphics. Yeah, but I tried, guys. This was a test right here, and you see I managed to get 67%. Yeah, it was a test, and this was actually, I did this on we did this paper size. We did this on a paper size A4. That's the paper we're actually supposed to use for this test right here. So you have to put this. You have to put the name right here, Akramart. Then actually down here you have to put your combination. So this was actually my combination right here. This was my combination. This right here was my combination. I used to do history, Islam, and art, and also I struck right here ICT. This was my combination back in high school, guys. Yeah, let me show you guys. For this paper right here, this was graphics. It wasn't my favorite. You see, when you're doing this, you have to do this, the final project. This was the final. Then there's also a sketch right behind this. Let me show you the sketch, guys. Yeah, so you have to put them together before you hand in this work to the examiner. You have to fasten them together. You have to put them together, maybe with a stapling machine or something like this. For us, we just use threads. You see, this final project and also the sketch. You just put the sketch beneath the final project. Yeah, this side is the sketch. This was actually, we were required to create like a logo. They give you like 5 questions. They give you a question paper which has like 5 to 6 questions, and you're actually just required, you're required to choose two. Then you're given like this paper typically took like could take like 5 hours. You could take like 2.5 hours for the sketching part, then you take a rest, then you come back for the final 2.5 hours for the final project. Yeah, so this one for me, this was a question. I was required to come up with a logo for a company, and the company is supposed to be tilapia fish exports. Yeah, so you're the one who has to design. You have to come up with a design. They just give you the name, tilapia fish exports. Now you're the one you have to see how you can do it. If you see tilapia, if you see fish, you have to be creative. For me, I just used to when I heard fish, tilapia fish, I chose to put this. This is the leg, guys, and also this is like a boat right here. This is like a logo. You have to be creative. What they do, for them, they just give you that, design a logo for a company, a fish company. They just give you the name, tilapia fish exports. Now you're the one who has to be creative. You have to make it stand out. Yeah, that's how this graphics work. Let me just show you guys the sketching part, the sketch, the first step. Let me show you the first step before I reach this. This is the final project. Okay, guys, look at this. This is the initial process before you reach the final project. Okay, as you see, so right here, this is where you have to get the right measurements. of the paper. You have to divide all this. You just have to make sure everything is in the middle. You have to measure. Yeah, you have to use a ruler. You need to have like a mathematical set for this paper. Mathematical sets, colors, compo pens, ball pens, all that, and also all your shading for graphics work has to be on point, guys. It wasn't my favorite paper, but you know, I did, and I just tried. I could perform better when it comes to. Look at this sketch, guys. So this one took me about this took me around 2.5 hours, guys. This was the initial process of creating this logo. This was the initial process, and it took me some time. This is where you have to do the measurements. I don't know if you can see this. I had to do some measurements right here. I had to calculate because I had to balance this. I had to get the length and the width. They give you the length and the width that you have to use. Yeah, it's always they give you that in the question. It's always there, and they also tell you that the colors which you have to use, the amount of colors. They tell you that you use like around 3 or 4 colors. They tell you that. Yeah, so you have to use only that. You can choose the colors you like. Just have to be creative. Just try to make it. Just try to make it nice. You just have to make it look nice. Yeah, look at this, guys. Yeah, what you think about this, guys? For the sketch here, you just have to use a pencil. This is where you have the chance to. This way you have the chance to rub. Maybe you have like a different idea. Just so you have the chance to rub. Yeah, this is where you plan basically. This is where you have to do all the planning. Yeah. So for me, I just wanted to make it look like this, and also, yeah, this is what I did, guys. This was the sketching part. Also, I had to indicate my name because it was a test. Yeah. Look at this, guys. After doing all this, the sketching bit, then you have to come back to you have to bring this to right here. This is the final project. So here you have to be perfect. You don't have the chance to rub. You basically have to do everything you did here. You just have to put it here. You have to do it in color though, right here. Yeah, so for me, I chose to use yellow. There's black, there's blue. Yeah, this is what I decided to do. It was a fishing company. It's just a logo. Tilapia Fish Exports. Timas. Huh? What's this? From us to you. From us to you. That's the font I chose to use. Yeah. Tilapia Fish Exports. What do you think about this, guys? This guy is I took off my shades. Yeah, this is the final project, guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tilapia Fish Exports. This is graphics, and actually now this is the final part of this artwork. It was a test, guys. This was just a school test. I'm taking you through some of my old artworks, graphics. This was graphics. You know, guys, the art we used to do back in school had many papers. We had figure study, we had graphics, we had a lot, guys. We had still life. Still life is where you draw. They give you a subject. They could give you like cups, they could give you spoons, they can give you mostly things that don't have life. They give you still life. That's called still life. The human figure. That's where you draw like an actual human being, and that human being could be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman. You just put that individual in front of you, and that individual is actually your subject, and you have to draw that individual. That's figure study. Those are just some of the papers we used to do, yeah, including this one. Now for me, guys, this wasn't my best part of art. I had a lot of I preferred figure study. Guys, that's what I managed to score in this test, 67. You know, if it was my favorite paper, I would have been able to score like a lot, at least 80. Supposedly it was actually drawing, like just drawing the pencil or graphite or with charcoal. Supposedly it was a drawing, just drawing, like still life or figure study. Actually my favorite was figure study, where you have to draw like a human being. Yeah, that was my favorite art subject, you know. This was graphics, and this one I just try. Yeah, but I think I did a good job. What do you guys think? I wasn't required to like work with a lot of colors in this artwork. I was only supposed to work with like how many colors you see in there? Like 3 colors. Yeah. So you're free. You have the freedom to choose the color you want. You could choose red. You could choose pink. You just have to make it. You just have to be creative. Yeah. For me, I chose yellow and blue. I was supposed to design a logo, a fish company. Yeah, tilapia fish exports. Yes, guys, tell me what you think about this artwork. Yes, you see how I managed to balance that, all this. You have to actually come up with the right measurements. It's part of the, if you don't get the right measurements as instructed in the question, they deduct your marks. Yeah, look at that. Can you guys be able to tell me why I couldn't get 100%? And I managed to get 67%. I didn't get 100%. Can you tell me why down the comments? For me, I think like the overall design, okay, it's good. It's a tilapia fish exports. It's a company logo. You can see the lake, you see the boat. Yeah, that all points to a fish company. But you know, I think there's something missing personally. Yeah, you know, guys, I try graphics, but you know, I'm always better at figure study. Guys, yeah, I'll just end this video right here. That's it, guys. Hope you like it. Tell me what you think about this down in the comments. Let me catch you guys in the next one. Stay well. See you when you see me, guys. Graphics. Tell me down in the comments if you love graphics. Yeah.